I got something really cool that I'm doing today to the 240, and for some reason, it seems like it's the smaller things kind of make you happier. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna do the manual seatbelt conversion for the S13, and these ones are actually out of a Silvia. I knew that the European S chassis and the Japanese S chassis didn't have the automatic seatbelt, but I didn't know what the difference between the coupe and the hatch were. It's actually this positioning bracket is how you can kind of tell the difference between the two, because hatch ones actually go underneath B-pillar plastics, and then these ones for the coupe, they have this bracket that comes out because the B-pillar set up different. But you can also do S14 Seat Belts as well, but just wanted to get the right ones for it. And on top of that, S14 Seat Belts are getting really hard to find nowadays. You know, just restoring this with an original part that was made specifically for this chassis is just really cool to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna film a little bit of it, show kind of what it looks like in the end, and here we go. I haven't gotten any subs for those yet, but that thing looks sweet. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick interior tear down. We got the back seat out, got the driver's seat out. Looks like I've got the carpet wrapped up underneath this thing. Didn't realize that, so I'll take the little sub box out. That thing's gonna be cool. All right, now we can take the carpet out with it. Kind of sucks that this car came with brown interior. Whatever, it's all good. It was all there at least. The automatic seatbelt stopped working at some point, and I put a harness bar in here with harnesses, and I just didn't like it. I didn't want to chop the interior panels up and everything. Looks like we got a 14. Automatic seatbelt would have been right here. I already took it out, and I'm gonna end up having to drill a hole in this one. I don't know exactly where yet, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, I'm gonna take this out just so I don't break it. All right, back again today. I had some other things I needed to tend to yesterday, day 2, but yesterday I did go and get the bolts that I needed. I'm gonna show the size of the bolt here on the screen. It was a 7/16 inch 20 thread, and then I went 2.5 inches long. I saw on somebody that did a Sentra conversion for a hatchback, they used a 3-inch long, but I think that the B-pillar plastics might be a little bit different. And so yeah, I also needed to figure out what I was doing on this thing in order to kind of show what was going on. It was kind of hard to take video while I was figuring it all out. Here is somewhat of the final product. I still want to get a cover for this. 2.5 inch long bolt. I ended up putting a spacer that I had in my toolbox in there to space it out so that it doesn't crush the plastic. This is the final product. I just put the seat in, did a little test fit. This is so cool how these are meant for this car. Like even the little plastic clip right here that it comes with, it just clipped right in. There was already holes in the unibody for it. They're labeled left and right. One thing that I couldn't figure out, I'm gonna try to show this really quick here. There's a little tab that comes off the back side of that arm that needs to go into the chassis, and I didn't realize you need to cut another hole. Once I got that done, it supported the arm to where you can adjust it. It's got little click adjustments on it to where you can put it where you want to put it. When I'm working on the other side, I'm gonna show the inside of what it looks like and what those holes look like and everything. The ideal way to do this would be a bolt that has a smooth part on it so that this thing can pivot. Technically this right here is supposed to be able to pivot. I put it where I'm gonna need it and I set it up with my seat and everything. If you could get a spacer machined to where you have this flat edge right here and it fits on the outside of this part right here, it would make it to where this can pivot and it doesn't pinch it. Keeping in mind too that this is gonna be specific for the coupe, for this particular seatbelt. These ones go on the outside of the plastics. I believe on the hatchback or the 180SX, 200SX, this whole assembly actually goes behind the plastic if you have the right plastics and everything. This is, with the seat in here and everything, it just looks so cool because the seat just sits in the perfect spot and this is exactly where it needs to be, so it's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna move on to the other side. All right, so to make the hole for this one, I'm going to use this tab for a reference point because the hole is right there underneath it. I'm gonna take the panel off, I'm gonna measure from here to here, and I'm gonna just do the hole right on the plastic side of it since I know where the reference point's at. All right, so this was the one we were just looking at. It's actually lined up with this one perfectly. Let's measure it up. 1 5/8. All right. So I went straight down from here. 1 5/8 from the tab. Boom. That should be right where we want to be. And I didn't do it like this on the other side. I just got lucky. Just kind of winged it, but we're gonna try to do it right on this side. And I already measured the hole. The end of this is a 3/4, and that should be plenty to get that bolt through. Let's see what we got. That looks too far over. Uh-oh. Let's check our work here. Pretty close. All right, let's see if we can get that to work. Cut it out a little bit more to the left. I'm gonna do one more hole for the little tab. Okay, now the other hole that we're making is gonna be for this right here. This bracket, I'm going to show where this goes. This is the one that supports it so that you can have some leverage for when you're doing the adjustment on it. But that's why this is this long, so that it can go through the plastics into the unibody. So what we're looking for is the hole that's right underneath this because it sits on the lower side. It's right here. And again, this is specific to the coupe. When the panel's on, it barely catches because the US panels are a lot thicker, but it does go in far enough for it to catch, so it's going to end up being like right there. Let's measure this one. 1 7/8. And we'll go 1 7/8. Boom, right there. All right, so now we are going to mount it from the bottom first and run the belt up so that we can get this bolted in. It's gonna mount in the same location as the stock automatic seat belts. This obviously drops the bigger part on the inside. And then this top bolt doesn't have an insert, it's just threaded into with a coarse thread. Tighten this up. Now we're gonna run this up. This came on it. It's one of the benefits of having the right stuff. It goes right here. I think that's really cool. That hole's never been utilized before, but it's there for the other options for other markets. Now it's a little tricky getting these to line up because it looks like it gets all tangled up. Right underneath here, like this. This one comes right underneath, right there. In the hole. Bam. just like that. Now that we've got it all lined up, we're gonna get the bolt ready. This one's gonna go on the outside. I'm gonna put, oh, it already has a little plastic in between. Do that there. This is what I was talking about before. The original bolt had a bigger diameter on the end right here. It would be to where when it gets tight, it only goes to here, and it's still tight, but it still doesn't put pressure and clamp these two together so that this could still rotate. Now, I don't have a spacer to put in here, but I'm gonna get it at the right angle so that it doesn't put too much stress on it. We're gonna need to pick what angle we want this at before we tighten it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So normally right there is the good angle for it. That way, if it does need to tighten up, it's wherever it needed to be. I'm gonna space it out to where it doesn't crush the plastics too much. This was the spacer that I found in the toolbox that spaced it out the rest of the way. So that's what we're looking for right there. And by the time this is the amount of threads right here, about 3/4 of an inch. This is the amount of threads that it had in from the factory. You could tell on the factory bolt where they set the, there was like red Loctite or something on it. All right, so that should be good. I'm gonna feed this one in from the back. I'm gonna show where this bracket is catching. That right there needs to go into the hole. That's what I'm trying to do. This right here was the adjustment that I was talking about. Once you have it bolted down, this is probably so that somebody can get into the back seat easier. There's two different locks on it. I think that we might need to clearance this piece on the back right here because it might rub. This one for the bottom, this goes straight down right here on the back side of the carpet where the stock seat belt was. Right there. So we're gonna go on the outside of the carpet, put a hole in the carpet and go right there. Seatbelt got a little burnt. This other one looked way better. Wow. Alright, so I'm just mocking up the panel really quick. I don't think it's hitting on the outside. I think it's hitting on this inside one. Kind of want it to retract a little bit better. Alright, so I just took a little piece out of the back of this right here, and maybe about an eighth of an inch or so that it has a little bit more room. I'm going to do a test fit, but right there, moves free. Leave this top one unclipped, and everything else is nice and tight. That should be it. Nice. And one more thing with the S13 ones, I believe this is going to be for hatch or coupe. The seatbelt buckle for S14 is the same. Boom. So if you have S14 seats, or I think S14 buckles you can actually still get new from Nissan, so that's cool. But yep, there it is. You can go up however how you want. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one. I hope this helps somebody out. I really didn't see much coupe specific information out there with these particular seat belts, so just wanted to throw that together really quick. Probably gonna end up updating it and making it a little bit cleaner in the future. They're in there now, and we didn't have seat belts before, so if any questions or comments or anything, just leave them in the comments section, and we'll see you for the next one.